Don't have one specific thing to talk about today, but I just thought I'd make another video. My hair is getting kind of long, getting all fluffy. This middle length, like long, short, is like the hardest for my hair because it just gets so fluffy. I had to thin it out on the sides a little bit. Oh, it takes so long to grow short hair. I want to have long hair again. At least, like, you know, like neck length, regular hair. But, yeah, still blue. Keep thinking about dyeing it again, but I get a lot of compliments on the blue. And, yeah, sometimes I like it. Yeah, all covered in hair because the cat was. Can't really see it on the camera. Cat was loving me, and he has a lot of hair. Very hairy orange cat. Hairy bear. Oh, I wanted to say I found this new astrology YouTube channel. This week I watched a lot of them. Well, and I try new ones sometimes anyway, but I'm not like the Leo King isn't doing it for me right now. I feel like this, I mean, maybe just me, but also it seems like the Leo action that he keeps talking about seems to be super affecting him, and he will like say all these things about what's happening and how you'll feel, and then he like does the exact thing he said not to do in his video. That's just like it's okay, like I don't blame him, but it just seems like he doesn't really have a handle on what's going on right now. It's kind of taking him for a ride, so like okay, for example, he talks about the North Node in Leo and the South Node in Aquarius, and how you should just follow your own path and don't like if people are bugging you or you don't like what other people are doing, don't like fight against them. Just do your, show them like do your own way and just go your own way. Leave it, leave them, let them be. Um, that's like a more like loving, gentle form of separation, I guess, or like, you know, growing, outgrowing someone sometimes or whatever. So I get that. But, then he like went on this rant about somebody who didn't like his Facebook post and he was like trying to say in the rant how he knew he should have handled it differently, but it was almost like he just like intellectually he thought he was wrong, but emotionally he was like still in the exact same place, and he kept kind of griping about it during the story where he was trying to take responsibility, but he wasn't really, and he was just kept blaming the other guy and acting like the other guy was wrong, you know? Like he does that sometimes too about certain signs. Like I'm a Taurus, and one of the first videos I watched of his, he was like really um okay, like the very first video I saw of his was his interview with Teal Swan, and where he was telling this whole overview of the year. And that was really cool. Plus, like, I always feel like I have a really strong read on her. And so her reactions to things and how she interacts with someone, like, tells me a lot about whether, like, the depth of what they're saying and stuff. She's very analytical, but she just has like a sense of things, and I can feel it, and I can see it. I can I don't know. That's just like sometimes seeing other people do things or react to things, I can just see like a depth of information. Yeah, maybe that's Libra or something. It's like seeing two sides. Um, and almost like how the ways that two sides interact shows their balance, or like how they're out of balance, and that tells me a lot of information. I don't know. I think that's anyway. I have Libra moon, so that's how I think sometimes. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, okay. So like the first video I saw of his that was just his video on his channel was like something about Taurus, and just like it was super negative about Taurus. Maybe that was just the sign, but even so, I feel like some like the longer I'm getting into astrology, the more stuff I watch, the more I realize like some people are making things really negative and only focusing on the negative. And I'm not okay, I'm not one of those people that's like um believes in like the law of attraction in the way of the movie The Secret or something where they're like afraid to have a bad feeling and they're like hiding from it, and like every time anyone around them like has a bad feeling or says something that they think is negative, they're like, oh, like that person ruined my life or whatever. Our roommate right now is kind of like that a little bit. He's like pretty easygoing, so it's not too bad, but yeah, it's like part of his mindset is to escape the bad feelings and just, and excuse it by with that belief. It just like adds to his fear of the negative feelings, and excuses him avoiding them. Okay, so I'm not one of those people. Obviously, I like Teal Swan, and she fucking goes right to the rough stuff, and she doesn't bullshit around. She just she's gripey, she's snipey, she criticizes, she brings up the negative thing like right into your face, and I I think that can be super helpful. I'm totally for that. Um, yeah, but this like when you're trying to guide someone with astrology, people are looking to that for like support and for like some guidance through whatever things are happening. Like I have found out that I feel the transits and stuff really strongly, um, for whatever reason, I guess. I mean, theoretically everyone does, but it seems like some people, maybe people just don't notice. I don't know. I feel like it rocks me to my core. Maybe because, well, I'm a North Node in Pisces, which says that, like, basically my direction, my overall direction in life has to be go with the flow. And and so it kind of like in where I am right now, I don't have a lot of really um I don't have a really regular schedule. So um I just like wake up every day and I'm fresh trying to find like a little path or a little, I don't know, where am I? How am I? What do I need today? Blah blah. I guess that's just some kind of spiritual practice, but that's like I wake up every day feeling a little bit lost. Like my mind has been wiped and I don't have like the strong direction that some people seem to have, like one track mind. Like I'm just different all the time. And I know I'm going through my own like little paths and stuff, but I can't see them until I look back most of the time. Can't see ahead very far very clearly, and it's just like, well, I watched this video where uh, the guy said it's another astrology video, but he has like long hair and he's all like real hippie in nature and stuff. I like him, but he said that he thought, Pisces is supposed to be water. He thinks it's more ethereal, more like ether, because it's like um, just about spirituality and like openness and otherworldliness or something. So there's like a part of me that's like that. Like, I mean, I can make and force myself to stick to a schedule as good as anyone. I did that for a long time. Um, but it just doesn't end up really being successful. I tire out and I run into a lot of blocks because it's just like trying to force yourself the same way always, regardless of what's going on, doesn't work for me. I have a theory that doesn't work for anyone, but things are different. Uh, like different aspects of people's lives play different roles for them, like carry different weights for them in their life as far as how much it's affecting you and where, um, what aspects of your life and personality it's affecting you. So anyway, mine happens to be North Node in Pisces. My Pisces is the North Node, and yeah. Anyway, so through much disappointment, I have found that going with the flow, finding what's right for the moment or for the day is, short periods of time, feeling it in my body. Which I guess that is um, another part of the houses I read. Or no, Mercury and Taurus. I have Mercury and Taurus too. Uh, and somebody said that that means feeling your truth in your body. Like it has a real strong connection with that, and I thought it was super, super interesting to me because I do feel a lot of very specific, intense things in my body. Like emotionally, it's very, very physical for me. Like if I have something that I really need to say, sometimes I don't even know it in my head. Like I try to think of what it is and I don't know what it is, but I can feel when I have blocks. Like I can feel a block in my throat, this tension in my throat, and I keep swallowing, and like sometimes my ears clog up or weird shit. Like it's just like so. Anyway, I finally figured that out. Just super physical. Like if I can just put my focus onto that spot, like breathe into that spot, or just let my try to let my awareness be drop into whatever spot is blocked. Like I'll just have like flashes or impulses, and I can feel when it's loosening up that I'm like doing what it needed. Anyway, that's my Mercury and Taurus. So we're supposed to have Mercury and Taurus soon. Like I think I don't know exactly when, but I thought it was this week. Yeah, so maybe other people might be feeling that too. It's not very hard, but it's confusing to know that if you don't know that that is like a thing. Because that's not really popular opinion that your physical symptoms are uh, part of your emotions or thoughts or needs, like emotional needs, metaphysical needs. Anyway, yeah, so. Oh, but, okay, so the new astrology thing that was my favorite this week. It was this YouTube channel called Libra Luna Center, and it's this girl. She has this really sweet curly hair. She's like super pretty, which is always it's fun to watch. Funner to watch people when they're pretty or interesting, I guess. But um, she just explained everything super well, though, from like an emotion point of view, rather than just saying, um, this is gonna be hard, that is gonna be hard, don't do this, don't do that, watch out. That's what a bunch of the astrology things are like sometimes, and it's like, it's not helpful to me. Like a small amount, but they just start making me feel really anxious, and then I'm just worried about doing that thing. I don't actually have like an inner sense of how to do what I want to do. They're just like, don't do that. So then your focus is just like, avoid that. But like, avoiding things by focusing on them doesn't work. You know? Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work truly, I don't think. Anyway, so she explained things really cool, and I've been feeling really confused this week, which apparently that's a thing that's coming up in June, is like a super confusing thing with Neptune. Um, but, so the energy of something big like that, especially if it's going to be in that for a long time, because I think it's a Neptune retrograde that's coming up and that's going to be there for like 3 months or something. Um, so anyway, like with a big energy like that that's going to be in there for a long time, like you could feel it. It's further ahead, you could feel it coming. Anyway, so that's part of it, I believe. Plus Gemini stuff um, is like got everyone's all brains all scattery, and I already have an issue with overthinking, so it's been a little bit stressful. Trying not to think myself to death, but into anxiety. It's hard to avoid anxiety when your thoughts like running away from you and they're like, oh. It just gets me anxious. But yeah. Anyway, her video was really cool. I highly recommend her video for this week, the week of May 29th. Um, it was really good. Now I know, like, what stood out to me. There was a lot of things she said that really helped, but what stood out to me was, like, what I've been looking for that I haven't been finding this week, which is just, like, a focal point. Like, something to look forward to know that things are building somewhere, and things are going somewhere. Because I just been feeling like, I have to do something, I have to do something. What do I do? I don't know. And I just come up with things to do, but I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. I'm like, why don't I feel like doing that? I'm trying to work it out. Is this some kind of block? Am I afraid? Is this something that I actually need to do that I don't feel like doing because I'm afraid? Or do I really not actually want to do that and I'm not coming up with a thing that I really want to do? What is it? It should be obvious. Anyway, so she said this really cool thing. She said this stuff in Gemini is like, because Gemini is the twins, that's the meaning of that is like you're both twins, like, so it's like a closer connection with the aspects of yourself that are like the different ways of viewing yourself, different self images or different self concepts or behavior, because it's kind of like when you act a certain way, when you have strong impulses or behavior in certain areas, it changes other things, or like they're a lot, like your whole personality shifts to balance itself, and as like a repercussion to whatever you're thinking or doing. So it's like you become a new person, even though you're not. It's just like a rearrangement, kind of. You know, like if you're a Rubik's Cube, you always have all those same colors, the ones that you have. Um, they just, you know, when you move one on this side, it moves this one. And then a lot of things are changing, not just whatever maybe action you took or whatever small practice you're doing. It has, has like effects, has a ripple effect. Like, yeah, it shifts the other side because they're all connected to each other. So, yeah. So she was saying Gemini, it's like the twins, and it's like you've been one twin that you've been kind of feeling stuck in for a long time, and you're like, um, even though you've been getting somewhere in certain ways, it feels like you're not getting anywhere because you've still been stuck in the same like darkness or the same downness that you've been struggling in. And this is like a shifting point where you can like shift into the other twin, your own doppelganger. It's funny. Twin Peaks. I'm watching Twin Peaks. Um, yeah. So, and she said that specifically on Saturday, I don't remember what transit or whatever she said, but on Saturday, some kind of big thing is supposed to happen. In some of the other weekly readings that I've watched, like some people combine it with tarot and stuff, or like oracle cards, and um, in a few of them, I was getting the tower, and so I think that might be related to whatever might happen on Saturday. And it could be like different things for different people, because um, it's not as like we think of things in a real physical way, like cause and effect, linear, but that's not how energy works. And it's like the planets are kind of a subconscious energy thing that's happening, the way that they affect us. Um, so it's like it's like a mirror thing where one creates the other. So they like or they create each other at the same time. They're creating each other like this, like it's like they feed into each other, us, our choices, and our past experiences and everything that is makes us who we are at this moment. And then the planet things that are happening are like putting energy into that, and it like creates this middle thing. What um is happening in life or how it feels. And the planet stuff, astrology stuff is like about how it's going to feel, not about like actual exact events. So like for some people, like whatever happens on Saturday, if it's like a big thing for people, um, like a big catalyst, it could be way different things. Um, yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen for me, but it's supposed to feel or at least result in the feeling of being able to use that thing to push you into your new life, to push you into your new self that you've been trying to reach. It's like something that you know you can do, that you know you want to do, but you're just feeling like you don't have the push. You can't, like it's up a hill and you can't quite seem to get it. You can see it and you know I just have to walk over that hill. But it's like so fucking hard. And then it's like the Saturday, something's gonna come give you a ride. And depends on the person and what you need, I guess, um, as to what that has to be. If um, like Teal's been saying for this year that the energy is super strong and like there's like a huge energy shift. Everyone keeps talking about that. Um, but so like if you're dragging your feet super hard in some way or other, or you're just really stuck, I guess, if you're avoiding it, if you're not accepting it, if you're not going with it, then like if you're trying to hold to the past or you're trying to ignore it, not willing to face it, then it just kind of blows up in your face super hard. And not necessarily that that's like, it's not like a punishment or something. It's more just like the physical fact of holding something, holding something, holding something, holding something, and then fuck, you couldn't hold it anymore, but and there's so much energy, like a spring, hold back, and then all that energy, like, and so it's just like a rougher ride, is all. Um, but sometimes we need those rough rides. Like, it'll push you a lot further all at once. That's one thing. Um, and I'm into that, even though, sometimes I get afraid of kind of catalyst, what kind of thing the catalyst is going to be, and how difficult it will be for me, how painful it will be. Um, but but I have a difficult time with like a consistent climb. Some people are better at that. Like Capricorns are really good at just like a determined pace, you know. Um, but I'm not a Capricorn. I mean, some of my signs are, but um, with my sun in Taurus, I think that's what does it. But I mean, I suppose they all interact, so it's somewhat different things too. I'm sure, but yeah, I guess it's something Taurus is known for anyway. That I tend to be kind of like waiting and building up to something, but not doing it yet for a while until it like hits the right spark or something, and then I'm like, do it all at once. So, like a bowl charging kind of thing. Yeah, so, yep, nothing wrong with any of that. People are different ways. And that's what I mean about the like negativity in the astrology forecast stuff, because it totally depends on who you are and your own particular needs and skills, like how something affects you. If it's super hard for you, or if you have that thing mastered, and it will be a big help to you. Even squares and oppositions and everything are, they're called difficult aspects, but they're not necessarily. It totally depends. It's just a certain type of energy. I haven't quite mastered um, what the individual energy is for those different things, but I have found out through my own different research and looking things up that um, it's not as straightforward as like it's bad relationship, good relationship, because the aspects are like the relationships between the planets, how they're aligning and everything. Um, yeah, it's not as simple as that. And any aspect, even like there are a lot of aspects of the squares and stuff that are considered to be difficult or cause certain problems. And yes, you might experience those problems, but that's like it's like a midpoint. Like, okay, when you look up stuff about your chart and like squares and stuff that you have in your natal chart or in your relationship charts, it's not like all cut and dry. A lot of times they describe the problems you're gonna have or how you have to not be a certain way. Um, it's just kind of stupid because one, you don't have to not be any way that you are. One, things that seem bad in one situation are perfect in another situation. It totally depends on the relationship. It totally depends on a lot of factors. Like, there are so many factors in your chart and in the current planetary alignments and everything. Like, there's so many details to it, and it all mixes together, you know? Anyway, so I just think we could do with something that looks for the end solution to different paths instead of calling things like bad or acting like you're gonna have a certain problem for your whole life and you can never fix it, because that doesn't need to be. One, again, things don't need fixed. Who you are doesn't need fixed. So that's like a problem in itself to start off with it from that idea. There's nothing wrong with who you are, no matter what different way it is. Nothing wrong with it. No such thing as good and evil. Everything exists. Like, all life in existence is worthwhile. You see my buddy? Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed my little thought capsule. It's been all snuggly ditty. So snuggly. Okay, we'll talk with you guys again later. Cheers.